There's a Bible that was left on the dais here. Two meetings ago, I appeared before the City Council, and I talked about the salary increase item that appeared on the agenda tonight, before it was on the agenda. And one of the councilmen made a comment that my use of the word bankruptcy was a scare tactic. And as a result, I felt it necessary tonight, when it's actually on the agenda for your adoption, to spell out the details of precisely what I mean about if you adopt this salary increase tonight, and if you adopt a similar salary increase for the fire department, and if the sales tax increase does not pass, you are voting for bankruptcy. So I want you to understand exactly what you're doing tonight. Unfortunately, the section of that recommendation that talked about fiscal impact was, in my mind, deficient. It only talked about this year. And so I want to go through what the actual meaning of it is. And I've presented a chart to you, and it is up on the board. Last July in 18, the city had a balance of $22 million. Think of a balance as the balance in your checkbook. How much cash the city has on hand? $22 million. Sounds like a lot of money. Well, last fiscal year, we just got the fourth quarter report for the end of the year. There was a deficit in last year, so the city lost $1.2 million of the balance, and now they're down to $21 million. And because the city has been deficit spending forever, I'm going to make an assumption that this year there's going to be another $1.2 million deficit. I haven't sent financials for this year, but it is the culture of the city that that's what they do. So we're putting the balance down to 19.6. The police raise that's on your agenda for today is stated to be costing $600,000. I costed it out in great detail, and I've attached a copy of the detail to this report. It's a listing of all of the policemen in the city and how much money they make and what a 12% increase will do in terms of cost. And my calculation is $900,000 for that increase, not $600,000. I did have a discussion with your finance director about it, and we have a disagreement about whether overtime should be included in the calculation. I think it should. The overtime that the police are working is a constant. It's been a constant for years, and that's going to be increased by 12%, just like everything else. So that's why we have that difference. But the bigger impact is if you adopt a similar increase for the fire department, that's another $700,000. And the real issue here is there's no budget attached to what you're doing today. And you have a policy that says you won't overdraft your budget. And here you are adopting an expenditure of $900,000 today with no budget. That's an overdraft. That's a violation of your own budget policy. But that's only the beginning. If you adopt a similar increase for the fire department, that's my calculation is another $700,000 overdraft deficit. But the real impact is not this year. And that's what I want to stress. Without a sales tax increase next year, the best you can hope for is a relatively small increase in revenue, maybe a couple $1 million. And it's not likely to be that good because sales tax is tanking. And this salary increase, when you calculate it out for next year, is going to cost $3.9 million. There's an impact that you just can't absorb. There's also an impact next year that you can't absorb because there's going to be a PERS cost increase in unfunded liability of another $2 million. So you're basically $6 million short next year. And I'm saying all of this if the tax increase doesn't pass. And the bottom line of all of this is I'm asking you not to act today and be fiscally responsible and wait until you find out whether you have the money to pay for it. If I were an employee in this city, I would be scared. This is a scary situation for people that work here. What happens when cities go bankrupt? That means people don't get paid. If I were a city employee, knowing that that's a possibility in this environment, I'd be looking for another job. And I've been involved with agencies that went through this. Oakland, Compton, Los Angeles, San Francisco. My job was to clean up the mess. And I know how awful the mess is. Don't do this today. Think about it some other time when you know the money's there. The money is not there now, today. Thank you.